Hey guys, it's your boy Alexi Master here, back at it again with another podcast, y'all. I know E3 has came and went. Like, I know our past videos were pretty long, and we apologize for that. Because the whole thing with E3, there's a lot of stuff to talk about and yada yada yada. Like, of course, as you can see in the title, we're coming back with another podcast instead of wanting to do like a review for another game. But yeah, that's gonna wait a little bit. So yeah, y'all get into the podcast. So yeah, hope you all are excited for that. Definitely for a review coming soon. But yeah, anyways, so now let's get into our cast and our special guest. Okay, so we got our boy. He's that boy out there. He going places. Like, he got his new album Zardius. I'm pretty sure. And
it's single. Well, it's Single Sunshine.
Single Sunshine, yeah. Oh, Sunshine. I'm sorry, brother. But yeah. Anyways.
My artist name is Zardius.
Man. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, man.
Anyways. We got our boy Trevor Man 5.
What's up, Trevor Man 5, aka Zardius? My Single Sunshine is out everywhere, guys. Go check it out. I'm ready to talk about some Zelda. I got my Master Sword right next to me, too.
Right. Yeah, man. Definitely, bro. But yeah, also we got one of our other boys. He's the boy who actually did a stream for Mario Golf. Yeah, Mario Golf stream, and he's definitely going to places too. And he was he's that boy that be reviewing all the fights that's going on and all those matches and all that shit. Our boy, the YouTube boxer Minato Max.
Hey, what's up, everyone? So happy to be here. We're talking about Zelda. I'm still trying to search for that Zelda Loftwing amiibo. Screw you, scalpers. If you're a scalper and watching this video, screw you.
Me with the Zelda Joy-Cons.
Luckily, I got a pre-order for that.
Shut up, Max!
So we got our other boy, who's actually been going, miles per hour on his live streaming. You got done streaming today. And then we got our boy Miles Per Hour.
La we're off.
Hello there, it's Miles Per Hour, and we're here to talk more about The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. I was like, okay, where's Miles? Like, okay, yeah. So last but not least, we got our boy. He's a good friend of ours who we knew for years on in since we were kids. And also, quote unquote, a cousin of Miles Per Hour. Our boy, Steve Harper Drums.
What's up, guys? Glad to be here. I have an Instagram account titled, like he said, Steve Harper Drums. Please give it a like, follow. I'm trying to get some covers on the way, but even still, I post some drum stuff. Like, I'm trying to get a cover of a song called Save Me from one of my favorite bands called Skillet. I'm going to try to get that up and running, but besides that, glad to be here. And yeah, we're just talking about some Zelda. I don't know, maybe some Mario, but oh wait, that's the wrong franchise.
Yes, sir. So yeah, we got our cast and our special guests here tonight, y'all. So of course, like everybody's mentioned, we are doing the retrospective for Zelda. Now I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, Election Master, didn't y'all already do a video about Legend of Zelda on the channel? Well, now that you asked, that video only has to do that video was most specifically for the Legend of Zelda anniversary that had happened a bit ago for this year. Well, yeah, this year. So that video is only pertaining to the anniversary. It wasn't like a retrospective. So basically, yeah, this video is basically our thoughts on the whole Legend of Zelda franchise as a whole, and everything like that. Looking in retrospective here just like the Pokemon video we had a while back. But yeah, without further ado, as we always start this, we're gonna go right into our past experiences. Now, we're going off. Now, we're basically, guys, we're gonna be going off of people who I have now, who I have introduced first. So that will, I'll pretty much be going first. So I'll basically go first, then I'll go ahead and go into Trevor. So yeah, for my experiences with the Legend of Zelda franchise, I didn't get into it until like high school. So like the first game I ever touched Zelda related was Majora's Mask. That was like brought onto the 3DS, and it was a pretty cool experience. I liked the story it had. I kind of lost touch with it after a while because other games had interested me as well. So I was playing that a bit. Gotten through a good portion of the game. Grinded my ass off on it. Then I went on to, of course, Twilight Princess. Josh was actually brought to the Wii U. yeah, and that game was a masterpiece. Twilight Princess was a masterpiece when I played it. I beat that game. It was amazing. And then Hyrule Warriors is a thing. Played a little bit of Ocarina of Time, and then of course Breath of the Wild came there when it came out. I played it on the Switch when it came out, and I thought it was like a pretty cool franchise to get into and to like see the many characters in the story and all that. But there's not too much I can really say because like there's other franchises out there that I favor more than Zelda, but like Zelda's always been something I do love. But yeah, just those are kind of my thoughts on it, on the past of what I feel about Zelda franchise as a whole in the past, every game I played basically. But yeah, going on to Trevor, what is your experience, bro?
So my experience also didn't really start until high school, though. Like I remember like in elementary school or hearing about friends talking about like Twilight Princess and stuff, and during recess, and, like I'm just like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Though it wasn't until high school when I would start actually trying to play it. Like I remember I got the NES game on 3DS because they were giving away like codes for from Club Nintendo for like their monthly rewards that they cycled through. But while I didn't touch that first, I did get Link's Awakening for the Game Boy Color on 3DS as well. I tried that, I got lost, and I put it down, though I eventually picked that game back up, but I picked up the remake, and I actually finished that. So, in a way, I finished it. The first game I actually played through, like, to the fullest, was Ocarina of Time 3D for my 3DS. And, like, when I got the Volvagia, the Fire Temple boss, like I couldn't figure out how to kill him, like because I would keep hitting with the hammer and he just wasn't going down, or like I was too slow with my reactions for the sword. So I put it down. A couple months later, I picked it back up, and I got through the game finally. And I was like, yes. And then I went to like Majora's Mask, finished that. God, I remember staying up and playing that game. That game came out my senior year of high school back in like 2015. So that was like interesting. That was a good birthday present. But then I did try playing Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword because I got both those games from my best friend because he didn't touch them, and no one in his family touched the Wii games anymore, so he's like, yeah, you can have them. I got farther it was true though, so I got farther in Twilight Princess, but I put it down, and I barely got started with Skyward Sword because the controls were just I was not liking them at all. So that's why I can't wait for Skyward Sword HD. So yeah, because but then I eventually started branching out more. I did beat the original Zelda eventually, and then what is it? I got Breath of the Wild 2 for my Switch, and after I got my Switch and I had enough money to do it, I bought Breath of the Wild. I beat that. Took like 8 months off of that, and then got back to it. Had some all-nighters with that. Specifically on days I had to go to school at 8 a.m. Well, college at 8 a.m. like for some classes, biology classes. That was fun. Trying to, find some shrines, release some divine beasts. When you have to go to a biology class at 8 a.m. that morning, you're like, come on. I may be watching a lot of Cat Icarus and Mega Man shit for some god awful reason, but I need the videos to keep me up.
Right.
But yeah, and then I beat Link's Awakening. That was the last Zelda game I'm pretty sure I fully beat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But that's my experience.
Right. Yep. Awesome, bro. Definitely keeping it short and sweet. Always, bro. Appreciate it, man.
No problem. Always.
But yeah. All right. Now we got our boy Minato Max.
All right, so it's funny we were talking about Club Nintendo. Without Club Nintendo, I probably would have not ever gotten into Zelda. So there was this cool promotional offer that the Nintendo that we now know would never ever do with Mario Kart 8 when that game was coming out for the Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
If you bought the game on launch day, they gave you an option of, as long as you were a Club Nintendo member, entering the code of Mario Kart 8. And you would get the option to pick, I believe it was 4 games. It was either New Super Mario Bros. U, it was The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3, I think was one of the options.
Yeah,
there was a fourth option. I think I'm kind of thinking of Wonderful 101. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't think it was that.
It was 4 games. So you had 4 games, and if you were other regions,
We Party You.
We Party You. I bet no one claimed that.
Oh God, hope not.
I'm so sorry if anyone claimed that, but I bet half the people watching this don't know what Club Nintendo is anyways. So anyways,
all the days.
I picked Wind Waker HD as my free game. Crazy, actually, that you could get 2 games for $60 from Nintendo. Like that was unheard of. But I picked Wind Waker HD. That was my first Zelda game. I played a lot of that game when it downloaded after playing a lot of Mario Kart 8. I absolutely love the visuals of that game. I love the art style of these characters. Because, I mean, in that timeline, Max was a big fan of cartoons. So it was like cartoon Zelda, pretty much. I mean, and seeing these designs, seeing the story, seeing Toon Link, because I used to be a Toon Link main in Smash Bros. Brawl, being able to play his games, that was an awesome experience. And then I really fell in love with Zelda from Hyrule Warriors. Hyrule Warriors came out later in that year, and that game featured a lot of Zelda timelines, basically, from Twilight Princess to Skyward Sword to just a lot of Zelda. And I was able to learn a lot of these Zelda characters from that game. And after I finished Hyrule Warriors, I wanted to play more Zelda games. And funny enough, a few months later, Majora's Mask 3DS came out, and I picked that up. I got to learn about all that stuff. That was really awesome and kind of dark. But yeah, the Zelda series, I didn't become a fan of till I think it was like my last years of middle school, and I'm very thankful for Nintendo having that offer of Mario Kart 8, because Zelda isn't like, in terms of the games I played as a kid, those games would not be games I would normally play.
Same.
And I was very happy to have the opportunity to play those and have that experience, because probably without those games I would still be playing, I don't know, Nicktoons Unite on the PS2. I don't know. That was the type of games that I played, the cartoon games. So yeah, I absolutely love that.
Good to know, bro. So now we have miles per hour.
All right, yeah. So my Zelda experience started with a lot of franchises with me, and that would be with Smash. One of my life goals is to play at least one game of every franchise that is in Smash. Obviously, Zelda is on that list. It's one of the biggest ones in that game and in Nintendo ever. So, first game that I had got was the A Link in to the Past and the Four Swords Game Boy Advance double collection. I played it for like 10 minutes, then got frustrated because I couldn't do a puzzle, so I returned it. Then came Twilight Princess. Same story. I played it for 10 minutes, got frustrated. I
Jesus!
couldn't do a puzzle. I returned it.
Miles.
However, like, I fell more in love with the Zelda franchise when I watched a lot of Chugga Conroy's playthroughs. Especially Majora's Mask. I love that playthrough to death. So I'm not unaware of the Zelda story or anything like that. And you know, it is a franchise I really do enjoy, and I didn't start loving Zelda until Hyrule Warriors, actually. That game came out like a day after my birthday, so I had enough gift cards to get it. And like, I'm a guy who loves a lot of games with a lot of combat and a lot of references to old things. That's kind of just perfect how that turned out. Hyrule Warriors has some of the best designs for the Zelda characters, by the way. Best Princess Zelda design, fight me.
That's Denpa design.
Exactly, with the Naginata and the Great Sword. Oh my goodness, such a good game. So, you know, and I did also redeem Wind Waker HD just like how Max did, and I enjoy that game a lot. That one I couldn't return, but I actually genuinely enjoyed it. In fact, out of the traditional 3D Zelda games, it's my favorite. And then, you know, the Switch, actually, I got my 3DS, got Ocarina of Time 3D. That was one of the first games you could only really play on that system. And, you know, years come by, the Switch comes out, and of course I gotta get Breath of the Wild. I love me some open world games, and Breath of the Wild is a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game. Zelda definitely deserves to be as big as a franchise as it is, though maybe even get pushed a little more. Nintendo shouldn't just be like all Mario, even though Mario was the main moneymaker. But other than that, yeah, I just really do like Zelda. It's not one of my favorite Nintendo franchises, but it is up there.
Oh, gotcha, bro. Good to know. Then now we got our special guest, Steve. What is your past experience with it?
Well, for me, I think the thing is about Zelda is that when you're a kid, you really don't understand it. You just know it stars the character Link. But then when you're like an adult or teenager, you kind of understand it more. So I think that's one of the unique things about it. So I guess my introduction was probably Ocarina of Time 3D when I got it for Christmas in 2011, along with Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 8, and of course my 3DS itself. And so I played it, I enjoyed it, I got about through halfway through it, and I haven't touched it since, but probably in 2014 when I really started getting back into video games, like Zelda games specifically, I'm like, I got a little bit far and I really can't remember where I last left off. But yeah, and Christmas of 2013 I got my Wii U along with New Super Mario Bros. U as a bundle, and as an extra gift I got Wind Waker HD, which is hands down one of the prettiest looking games on the Wii U. I mean, gosh, I didn't play the original because I didn't have a GameCube growing up.
Same.
Sad life for me. But even not playing the original, knowing that it's basically like an HD port, that game looks freaking gorgeous.
It does.
And so then I got Twilight Princess HD as a graduation gift. I graduated in 2016 from high school, and I got that as a gift with the amiibo. That's a cool thing, the Wolf Link amiibo. And then I basically got Zelda Link's Awakening DX around that same time I got Ocarina of Time 3D. And then when I got my Switch a few weeks after launch, with mostly all the launch games like Super Bomberman R, 1-2 Switch, and I forgot the other one, but whatever. But I didn't get Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, so I had to download it. I still have it, and probably it's honestly my favorite game out of the entire bunch, because that game, even as a casual fan like myself, the game really knows how to suck you into the adventure.
It does.
Because it's such a gigantic game, a gigantic world you can explore. The fact that it's more open than any other Zelda game before it gives like a great new vibe, and I think that's why it's my favorite. Which is why I'm very optimistic about the sequel, because so far what we've been seeing about the sequel, it looks like it's gonna be taking a more grittier, darker turn, which I think is gonna fit perfectly into the Breath of the Wild lore of the game. So yeah, as much as I am a casual fan, I'm not that big a fan as you guys, and I apologize to all the Zelda diehards out there watching. I still enjoy it. Like, it's definitely one of the more unique franchises out of Nintendo's bunch.
Well, that's definitely great to know. So yeah. With all that being said, pretty good experiences there. But yeah, Zelda really had touched our hearts with their stories and everything. But now moving on, we're gonna for our next topic. We're be going into the positives, of course. So basically, anything, if there's like one thing anyone could say that Zelda has done really well with, definitely it's a good time to mention it. Definitely a good time to bring that up. So of course, that being said, with me, I would say it is one thing that I have to say that they did really good. Nintendo did really well with Zelda is like, is that every game had a great story, had a pretty good story. Something that will be memorable for years to come for new players and stuff like that. And I think that's a big thing for the games of this franchise is the story and the music and yeah, basically all of that, I would say. But that's basically. I know it's not a whole lot, anything big, anything positive. Basically, this is the only positive thing I can really think of, because like I really admire Zelda for its music and story. But yeah, like so basically, going on to Trevor.
Yeah.
Oh, what is your positive?
So my positive is, well, it's just the gameplay. The gameplay is addicting. I mean, every time they bring out a new Zelda, at least I should say one that is like, because sometimes we do get two on a console. So every time they bring out a new Zelda, it's always trying to be different. Like, yes, it's technically the same formula, especially after Ocarina. Ocarina became the basis of the game's formula until Breath of the Wild. But like they always try to make the premise of it different. Like with Twilight Princess, it's Ocarina of Time, but it is darker and it has more stakes. Like I mean, hell, they bring back Ganondorf from Ocarina. That is the Ocarina of Time Ganondorf because he was being on trial. So that is literally the one that like at the split of the timeline, and he's just like, you can't kill me, bitches. I'm Ganondorf. I will live. Like, you think a little kid and two little kids that grew up were able to defeat me? Nah. So, but like the premises were always so unique enough to keep us to grasp in. Like Wind Waker. Wind Waker was great because like you're dealing with water. I mean, the HD version is better because you got the Swift Sail now, so you can kind of travel faster than on the GameCube version, and the Triforce quest isn't as bad. But still, the gameplay and combat was just addictive. And then, the king of Hyrule was like, yeah, no, fuck you, Ganondorf. I'm gonna flood Hyrule just to kill you now. Like, damn. So basically, like, kind of like what Luxray said, the story, but also this is the combat and gameplay. Because like the puzzles were always really good, or at least good enough to keep you going and guessing sometimes. Cause I was like Miles as a kid. I had a hard time figuring out some of the puzzles, but when I did, I felt like a genius. So like it gave me that sense of accomplishment. And the combat was just like, especially with Z targeting being introduced, it made combat easier, but like you could still die if you weren't paying attention. So yeah.
All right, yeah, good one on you, Trevor. So yeah. Going on to Max.
Yeah. Okay, so with Zelda, I'm gonna have to say presentation is a major positive. The packaging, the presentation of the Zelda games are incredible. Games these days can't really get you hooked on the story because there's so much build up that people do in stories to make you learn the character, the origin behind the character, all that stuff. I feel like with every Zelda game, at least the ones I have played, in the first 30 minutes you get hooked on the story, the characters, all of that because of how they present it to you. I think that's really incredible, the Zelda games. I'm always impressed by them, every single one that does it, because Breath of the Wild does that, Twilight Princess does that, even though I think it took like an hour for me to get hooked on that one. Wind Waker does it. Hyrule Warriors, even though that's not like a Zelda game, you know, I got hooked on that instantly. The music is something that I think is absolutely incredible with the Zelda series. I mean, I think it's the only Nintendo franchise that has actually done a symphony concert around the world. Might be wrong about that, but I think it's only Zelda that's had that. And the fact that people appreciate the music that much where they make a whole concert out of it around the world, a whole music tour, I think is absolutely awesome. And then obviously the story, but everyone here has said that, so I'm not going to blabber about the story. So that's my positives with Zelda.
I do want to interject real quick. Two things. If depending on how you count it, Pokemon has also done a symphony around the world.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, Pokemon.
That amazing symphony.
Yeah, Pokemon has
As well
done
as
it.
Kingdom Hearts.
Well, Kingdom Hearts isn't a Nintendo thing. Max was talking about Nintendo franchises. Kingdom Hearts isn't Nintendo.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
surprising they never did that for Mario, though.
I know, right? That's weird. But second thing is, I feel like Nintendo usually 9 times out of 10 usually nails it with presentation and story, and story preparation or introduction. Because like not only do their games usually look good because they're very stylized and Nintendo knows how to take advantage of their own hardware, but also the way they introduce the stories is just they do sprinkle it in, but they sprinkle just enough to get you hooked to be like, okay, what the hell's going on, or like what am I doing, like, because like Nintendo's good at that. Nintendo has been at this for long enough to be good at that.
All right, now going on to miles per hour.
Yeah, one thing that I really love about the Zelda franchise is the score. That music just hits so hard, and you can kind of blame my brother for choosing Temple all the time in Melee. Because, yeah, Zelda 2's score is especially really good, and, for a game that hard, at least helps things mellow out. But, like, every Zelda game has something so memorable. And, like, across the board, one of my favorite scores is Zelda's Lullaby. It's so relaxing and honestly perfect for a bubble bath, straight up. But
What the fuck?
it's that relaxing, guys.
Sorry, go
That's
ahead.
a new one.
That is a new one.
But with that being said, another thing I really love about the franchise is just the world itself. We compliment the story, and obviously we can have the story without this world. But Hyrule as a whole, is just one of the most interesting video game worlds out there. I love all the species in there: the Hylians, the Minish, the Gerudos, the Gorons, the Sheikah. Like, they're all really interesting species, and thank Majora's Mask for giving us the opportunity to play more than just a Hylian. And I one day hope that we get more Zelda games that fleshes out all of the Zelda species as a whole. I just love the variety that they have there, and even how they adapt to when the world changes, like how the Zora became birds in Wind Waker. Which, I mean, you'd think that they'd thrive in a water-based world, but, I gotta replay Wind Waker to see the explanation for that. Yeah, like, I'm just a big sucker for, like, really good world building, and Zelda does not slack on that.
Right. Definitely good to know. Yeah, I definitely agree with what you mean by that. That's a good way to think about it. But, Steve?
I think there are a lot of good things that I really love about it, but I don't want to waste too much time. But I think the thing I enjoy about it the most is how every time, like every video game, like the world and the lore of Zelda just builds and builds. Like, I think it really started to really get on track with Ocarina Time. Like, for Ocarina of Time, it really did. I think somebody said it earlier, but it really did set the tone of many of the future Zelda games. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
But yeah, and it always, most of the time, it never repeats itself, and it just like keeps bringing you more and more things that really just get you engaged in what the next game is gonna be. Like, every time there's a brand new trailer for a new Zelda game, and they always show off something really, really cool or something like really new, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to play with that. I can't wait to do with that. It just really, really satisfies me. And another thing I like about Zelda is how it also handles a lot of more darker and serious subjects for younger players without making it seem too dark and too unnecessary for the young players, where the young players can be like, oh wow, that was kind of dark, and it doesn't really scare them. Like, Majora's Mask is a perfect example. I was gonna say Twilight Princess, but no, Majora's Mask, because Majora's Mask is basically like the story of the world. It's possibly getting destroyed. That's a dark, like, little message or lore to the Zelda universe, especially when you see how the characters react. And I think that's one of Zelda's pure shining moments, and I think that's really gonna exhale when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely have to agree there with that and that atmosphere. But yeah. Now going on to the juicy stuff, the negatives. The things that that you don't really like that you do in Zelda, basically. For me, I know I have one, but I basically have one with Zelda. Of course, this is like before Breath of the Wild, and they fixed this, but like the whole thing with not having. It's just, the thing is, when you play like Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, you play them and then you take a break from them and you come back. One of the biggest problems, I would say, is like not knowing where you are.
Me and Breath of the Wild when I took my break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically that being a thing is like, cause the thing is, you'll know. I know the game kind of gives you some hints, but like. It's just they don't really have like a reminder thing or something like that. It just tells you where you need to go or what you need to do. Because there are some things you do need to do in able to get to the next stage of the game or whatever. And the biggest thing that was annoying is just like after a while. The thing is with these kind of games is you can't really. Things with games like this is another Zelda games. You can't just like, you have to keep make sure you keep playing it. And keep staying up with it, because if you don't, and you take a long break from it, then you're not gonna know where you are.
You're gonna be a lost soul.
Yeah, you're gonna be lost. So basically, that's a big factor. And I'm glad they fixed this in Breath of the Wild, because at least they tell you where you need to go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's something there. But that's basically on me. Going on to Trevor.
So mine's a two-parter. The first one isn't too serious. It's just I hate the fact that Twilight Princess HD on Wii U is still $50. Like, the fuck, when Wind Waker HD is $20. That's just one thing.
And then we got Skyward Sword.
Yeah, but Skyward Sword's actually brand new. When Twilight Princess HD's been out for a while. Like
Twilight Princess HD is going up in value because it was one of the last Wii U releases, so it's actually like a $70 to $80 Wii U game right now.
I'm about to punch
Are
my
you
own fucking
serious?
gonads. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, anyways, God, what? I had my negative on the. Oh yeah, how after you beat the game, you can't explore Hyrule or land or anything after that. It just takes you right back to your last save point. Like, one of the things I did not like about Breath of the Wild, and it's like a few things I don't like about Breath of the Wild. This is one of them. the fact that after you beat Breath of the Wild, you can't spend any time with Zelda or anything. You go right back to the save point you had before you faced Ganon, or whatever your last save point was. Like, come on,
There's no end game.
like, legit, like, there's no, like, anything, there's no post-game or anything. You, like, Breath of the Wild can be like, oh, thank you for saving me, Link, but you still have shrines you need to go find. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go find all the shrines now. But, like, any other post-game, like, come on. Like, at least let me do something, at least, let me do something post-game instead of just that, okay? Like, bro, like, give me some sort of post-game. That's really it, because I don't want to do all that work, and then it's just like, oh yeah, you beat the game. You get a star on your profile, but your last save point is where you're at. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Come on.
Common thing for a lot of RPGs.
Let it out. Let it out.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Like, come on, give me some post game shit, please. Like, fucking Pokemon does better than this. Pokemon always gives me a post game. Zelda fucking can't.
Even Mario does better than that.
Exactly.
Right. Right. Point noted, though. But definitely handing this off to Max.
Weapons breaking. No, I'm joking. I know a lot of people.
I'm about to punch your face, Max.
I know a lot of people are like, breaking weapons in Zelda. That shouldn't be a thing. Even though it sounds so realistic, it should not be a thing in Zelda games. I'm kind of just poking fun at you guys for having that as a negative, but because I know that's a very popular negative. My negative is actually, that's a positive for me. I think it makes the game harder and it's realistic that a weapon would break.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
Shrines. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the shrines, but I have a different way of looking at the shrines. I like the concept of shrines in Breath of the Wild. I like that there's like 200 of them. However, when I was playing Breath of the Wild over the last 2 years, I found a lot of shrines that were pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't liking that. I love the concept of shrines, and I hope Breath of the Wild 2 has that. I just don't want them to be repeats of a lot of the shrines, because I felt like that was annoying. And also, there needs to be different music playing in the shrines. I'm tired of just hearing that weird music 24/7. And with the shrine music in Breath of the Wild, I think that needs to change. But again, I know a lot of people don't like the shrines. I love them. I just want different shrines. I don't want to be playing 10 of the same thing, because I feel like that happened too much in Breath of the Wild. And another negative is, we actually talked about this earlier with Hyrule Warriors, Linkle. I feel like Linkle is such an amazing character idea, and then now it's never going to be used again, probably. And I think that's really disappointing. Because with Hyrule Warriors, they give a nice story towards Linkle, nice origin story. That actually kind of follows the events of Hyrule Warriors, the first game. And I think Linkle is such an amazing character, such a cool idea, good concept with the crossbows, double crossbows actually. And I think they should bring back Linkle in some form, whether that's, I don't know how they would do it, but I want Linkle back. And I'm going to say that's all my negatives with the series.
Right. Okay. Miles?
You know, I really only have one. And it is that Link is still a silent protagonist, or at least they don't really expand upon it.
Well, I was gonna say, Breath of the Wild, they basically said that it was a warrior's oath that he stay silent.
Okay.
So,
fine. That's fine.
So Breath of the Wild
However,
did. No other game has.
However, that's a clever way of kind of avoiding it. But we do live in the year 2021, and I feel like the reason why Link is silent is because, you know, the developers want the players to be reflected on Link. He is a link between the players. I feel like the best way to do that, yep, Steve. But the best way to do that is to kind of take more of a Mass Effect approach to it, where you have multiple dialogue options. And I know Skyward Sword did that, but they didn't really do too much with it. It's just, you know, Link says something, someone responds to what he says, and then they move on with the game. But I feel like a Zelda game should, like, make you build relationships more with the characters. You could be nice to this one guy and then mean to someone else, and they'll react to that without the whole game. I feel like that'd be a really interesting way to spice things up and still keep that connection, that link between the player and Link themselves. Like said, I'm glad that they addressed it in Breath of the Wild, but if they want to keep that idea, then they should try something like that.
I can agree. Yeah. I think, yeah, after a while, yeah, I think you definitely have to do something. Maybe try something different. But Steve.
I think one of the things that always annoys me, other than the fact that, basically, there's no end game. Actually, here's my biggest problem. Sometimes, and I think you guys may or may not agree with me, sometimes it's the backtracking. I'm not a big fan of backtracks because sometimes I would get lost and be like, wait, did I go this way or did I go that way? I'm like, oh, dang it. Ugh. So, I think they need to do a better job with the backtracking a bit. I think that's like a minor issue. But I think my biggest issue with the Zelda franchise so far is Skyward Sword. And nothing against the game itself, but actually it's towards the game, but it's not really its fault. My biggest issue with Skyward Sword, it was very, very linear for a Zelda game. Like, here's the thing. Zelda games are not meant to be linear. I don't think they should be linear because there's so much potential. Like, that's why most of the games are so beloved, because you have so much more stuff to do instead of just going from point A, point B, and now you got to go from B to C, D, and F, whatever. I think that's why I really did not enjoy Skyward Sword too much. I don't hate it. It's not like, oh, I hate this game so much.
At Twitter.
It's just it's just that, well, I just think that it could have been better. Like, how awesome would it been if you got to explore more of that area, like in a more open world way, instead of it just being linear? I think that would have made it even better. But that's just my personal opinion.
And Skyward Sword is like the worst when it comes to backtracking too, from what I've
Yeah.
seen.
Oh yeah. No, it is. It is. I haven't played it, but I've seen enough reviews to be like, you gotta do so fucking much.
And it's a shame too, because as a Metroid guy, backtracking shouldn't bother me like that. But at the same time, yeah, no, that the way Skyward Sword does it, no, thank you.
Right. That's definitely a good point, Steve. Yeah. So of course, as we wrap that up, I just want to say thank you all for watching this podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, especially the Zelda fans that are subscribed to this channel. So I hope you all are happy with this video. But of course, we're gonna start by plugging in, and we'll definitely get into like the news. We're just plugging in. Let's just plug it in, y'all. So of course, we're gonna go with me first. So my name is Luxmaster Koss on literally like Instagram. It's the same thing for Twitter and YouTube, but then again, my YouTube is still being worked on. I say that every time.
All the time.
Yeah. Okay, Miles. I see you. Okay, I see you, bro.
I mean, he
It's
does
your
have a point. It's been like 8 episodes since you said that.
It's his catchphrase at this point. It's his catchphrase.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get on me as you will. Okay. Whatever. Anyway. So, yeah. So, hit me up. Check out my cosplay content and everything on Instagram. Check out the Twitter. Even check out the Four Swords Twitter, and definitely is the Discord. Trevor.
So, my social medias are TrevorMan5, like on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course, and PokeFanTrevor on TikTok. again, my single Sunshine is out everywhere. That's Zardius Sunshine. So Zardius being the artist name. Zardious Sunshine. Go ahead, get a listen, give it a like, give it a purchase if you want. If you actually want to buy my shitty music, it's great. It's like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. But yeah, check me out on all that stuff too. And like, since I'm talking, like we are starting to stream soon. The first stream should be July 9th. Like the same week this episode goes live. Like, I don't know what I'll be playing yet. It might be Super Smash Brothers, something along with viewers. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it should be July 9th at 2 p.m. EST time, guys, on YouTube, on the channel here. So I hope you guys will join us on Friday, again, July the 9th. And yeah, that's it.
Yep. Max.
Minato Max on Twitter. I made it over 200 followers, so thank you all for following. I know we talked about that last episode. And Minato Max on YouTube. We're almost at 1,900 subscribers, so that'd be pretty cool to hit soon. So yeah, thank you guys.
All right, Miles.
Check me out on my YouTube channel, Miles Per Hour, my Twitch, 221MPH, and there's also my Twitter, Miles_per_hour and the number 1. I'll just plug my TikTok too, at Hour Per Miles. Yeah, so you can check me out, learn more about my voice, because I really do want my voice to be out there more, but that's it.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course, I know, Steve, you plugged yourself early on. Did you want to plug yourself again, like the folks know what's up?
Oh yes, I would love to. Well, first off, before I do that, thank you so much for allowing me to do this with you guys. I know I wasn't really that knowledgeable with Zelda, but I got some stuff out there, and really is appreciative of doing this, and I'm proud of you for doing this podcast, man. So really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for having me. Now for the plugin for me, it's steve.harper_drums on my Instagram. I have a Facebook and a Twitter, but I honestly don't use that as much. So if you want to follow me on my Instagram, that'll be really good. Like I said earlier at the beginning, I am currently trying to get a cover of the song Save Me from Skillet, one of my favorite bands. They are, and we're also trying to do some more drumming videos, and hopefully, and I'm praying hopefully, maybe we'll get a YouTube account up and running. And I just appreciate the support. And I'm not doing this just for views and stuff like that. I'm doing this for fun. And let's be honest, because let's be honest, we need a positive influence nowadays. So that's my that's my Instagram. Once again, one more time, that is steve.harper_drums on my Instagram. If you want, give it a follow. You'll be updated on the drum universe of myself. So once again, thank you.
Of course. Yep. That being said, I think, again, thank you all for watching our podcast. So hopefully, of course, this video should be a lot shorter now and all of that. So yeah. So is there anything else y'all want to say to our lovely audience before we?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy.
Squalala, we're off.
Okay. Yeah, alrighty. Alrighty, y'all. Y'all take care. Luxmaster signing out.
Have a good night.
Trevor 5 signing out, guys.
Until next time.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.